Good morning, YouTube. Today's project is we're going to be moving the aquaponics system. This is a system that's been sitting on our patio for several years, and we use it to water all of our tropical plants. And we're going to move it and set it up for vegetable production and stuff. Anyway, come along with us and we'll have a little bit of fun today. Well, everybody's still stuck at home. We've had this system set up for a couple of years with a whole bunch of fish in a big blue fish tank, and they are used to water all of our plants. They're all over the place around the porch, and we got a whole bunch of other plants scattered around our patio and our walkways. All of this stuff is watered off of the fish tanks. It's a non-recirculating aquaponics system. We've rigged up some planter boxes, and this is what's going to be hung off of the system, and this part will be recirculating. Let me show you how these drains work. They're pretty slick. What you see here is a 8-inch diameter piece of sewer pipe with a bunch of little drain holes cut in the bottom of it. And that is what's called a bell siphon. What happens is the water comes in here and it gets high enough, and this will float, and at a certain point it'll overflow and start siphoning, and this will allow it to siphon all the way back down to the bottom. This will all be filled with a soilless media, much like they do with hydroponics. And here's the big system we've got to move. What you see here is the 660-gallon fish tank, and this is a filtration system made out of two 35-gallon barrels and two 55-gallon barrels. It comes into this one first, overflows and goes into this one. When this one overflows, it drops down through a drain into this. When that one overflows, it drops into this one, and then from this one it goes back into the tank. It's a real simple homemade filtration system, but it works very, very well. This is part of the sprinkler system that comes up out of the fish tank and into this manifold, where the hoses go off to a whole bunch of sprinklers that we have set up all over the yard. And these go and put fish water all over our fruit trees, as well as my wife's roses. And here's what we're working on today. This used to be an above ground swimming pool, and after about 10 years it's degraded to where all of the fiberglass edging is coming apart, and it was just time to retire it. Besides, we don't use it much anymore. So rather than maintain it, I went and slit all the corners, folded it in to take it apart. Now we're about to go and fold it out to give us an impervious plastic floor for the greenhouses. And we're going to set up a couple of greenhouses right next to each other, going down this way. I'll have a 40-foot long one and a 36-foot long one. And as you can see, we're already starting to set up everything over there in the little shelter for the fish tanks. Now under here, you can see the platform that we went and built for the filtration system, which will sit in between two tanks. We'll have one tank there and another tank right here, the one that's over there with the fish in it right now. And I'm going to cover this area with black plastic sheeting, and then go and fold the pool back over on top of it, and go and set it up so that the post that has all the electric and the water coming in is going to be just inside the greenhouse. We're going to interconnect all of these drains from all the various tubs that we're going to have on here. We're going to have other tubs other than these 660-gallon cattle watering troughs from Tractor Supply. And all of the bottom drains will be interconnected. And the reason why I'm going to interconnect them, because this is the old pool filtration system. Because this is a sand filter, it's not going to work real well for the fish. However, this, I think, is going to work out to be an excellent circulation pump. We'll go and rig that to the bottom of all of the various ones and then go and run it out to a bunch of plumbing with faucets, and we'll feed all of the beds and everything off of that. For the everything that's going to be circulating will come off of that, and I'll have timers to go and open up some valves to feed water into the planter boxes. I think that's going to work out real well. We've got 50 amp service out here, so for 220. So we'll be able to go and run pumps and timers and everything off of this, no problem. There's already a timer out here for the circulation pump, and we can go and hook up other stuff to that. Well, I think we need to get to work today. Get something done before it gets hot. Okay, we went and laid down some black plastic. We're not finished with it yet, but got it laid out where it's going to go. And then we went and took a big flap from the pool, because I slid it down in the corners and laid it back. And now that that's all laid down all the way around, that's going to give us quite a bit of an area to set up a greenhouse and not have to worry about anything coming through the floor. Right now, there's a whole bunch of little tadpoles running around. There's one right there. Whole bunch of tadpoles in there. They're fixing to get evicted, unfortunately. We went and caught a whole bunch of them and put them down in the pond, so we weren't killing all of them. Caught a bunch of frogs, tadpoles, water bugs, all the stuff that was in the pool from over the winter. Now they're all happily residing in the pond, except for the few stragglers that we couldn't catch. They're running all over the place. Poor little guys. If you had allowed me to catch you, you'd be living in the pond right now. But anyway, next step is we're going to go and disassemble the kennels over on the patio, take all that stuff apart, and start reconstructing it over here. Right in this area. Still got to move that in. We got a bunch of plumbing to do. The plumbing for this is pretty much going to stay the same, but we're going to have to reconfigure it a little bit when we go and set it all up in the new spot. The sprinkler system is going to have to go through some, but it'll still do what it's been doing. Go and water our fruit trees and my wife's rose bushes. It's amazing to me, just a couple of months ago, most of all this was just dirt that we'd torn up from building the pond. Went and replanted the grass, and boy, it's come back with a vengeance. It's kind of hard to tell, but a lot of that is about 4 foot, 3.5 foot to 4 foot tall. It's reaching up into my armpits when I try to walk through. But we've got to let all of these wildflowers go to seed and do their thing. Once the wildflowers are done, we get to mow. Got a pretty decent crop of Indian paintbrush and quite a few blue bonnets, but you can't see them because all the grass grew up. Looks good though. Glad it turned out as well as it did. And here's a shot at just a few of the Rubbermaid tubs that we're going to be using. 100 gallon, 150 gallon, 50 gallon. We got multiples of these scattered around the property, and we're going to gather them up and put them in the greenhouse and hook them up with the big blue tubs, and that way we can have different breeds of fish in different tanks. In the next installment, we're going to actually take some wrenches and start taking all of this apart so that we can reconstruct it over on the other one. Come back and see us.